Hello everybody, how are you all doing tonight? It's now February the 12th. It's about 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, and we're going to be doing a technical analysis on Ethereum today. I just want to forewarn all you gentlemen out there that it's only 2 days till Valentine's Day, so you guys got to take it a little bit more seriously, alright? If you haven't planned, just take my friendly advice. It's much more important than the market right now. And I think that you're going to have a lot more things to worry about than a profit if you're not planning accordingly for Valentine's Day. The sense of humor is kind of coming back, guys. It's taking a little bit, but I think it's back. Alright, so let's check this out, guys. Let's check out CoinMarketCap right now and see how Ethereum has been trending thus far. As you guys have noticed, Bitcoin dominance has dropped from about 65 to 66% to about 62.1%. And I think a lot of these alts are having their run right now because I think that Bitcoin, we all know, is going to find some massive resistance around the $10,500 mark. And now we're seeing coins like Ethereum, XRP is so OPP, yeah, you know me. You see Tezos over here as well. 14% for Tezos, 11% for Ethereum, 8.9% or 8.29% for XRP. Look at Stellar. I think it's pretty stellar at 7.52% of a rise. Lots of coins right now. OKB, interesting. $355 million market cap, ranked at 33 at 7.54%. As we can see, because the Bitcoin dominance has dropped from 65 to 66% and now to the lower 62% region, we're seeing a lot of change and heavy increase and a shift of capital from Bitcoin to these altcoins. I think that when we all see this, right folks, we all see that Bitcoin is reaching a resistance at 10.45. And I think a lot of the times people are entering a short position or they're cashing out their profits already, as we've seen with a steady decline in the 24-hour volume for Bitcoin. And now we see Ethereum just leading the pace with a parabolic move to the upside. And what's really interesting is XRP. Do you guys remember back in the day when XRP was competing with SWIFT as a national money system that can be transferred, right? When we look at things like SWIFT, which is the national standard or the world standard for wire transfers, it's clumsy. There's a paper trail. Every bank has different systems of using SWIFT. It's expensive. It's slow, guys. It can take anywhere from 3 to 5 business days. You cannot do it on the weekend either. So XRP, when they were first holding their conference, right? I think it was in Toronto. Yes, it was in Toronto. So SWIFT decided to hold a conference, and it was called the Sibos Conference. Okay, Sibos Conference, because they understand that they're no longer a monopoly in the game, and they're now going to have competitors such as XRP that can be an oligopoly, which is basically people who are going to have different pieces of the pie in that specific market. Keep in mind that cryptocurrency is not just money. There are many different applications, and I think that one day cryptocurrency is going to be as common to you as holding a smartphone to your kids. I'm not sure about you guys, but I grew up, I'm 35. For the people that don't know, I'm 35. Remember back in the day when you're knocking on your friends' doors to say hi, riding a bike around all the time. There were no tablets, there were no cell phones, there were no smartphones, there was not even cordless phones from what I remember. I was still using a rotary dial. I'm calling up my friends, writing on a pen and paper. And nowadays, right, smartphones, the people my age, of course it's something new, but we've learned how to adapt to it. But to your kids, or to maybe people in high school today, they're born with it and they don't understand what it was like whatsoever to even have something like a rotary phone that you would dial. You gotta spin it and you gotta wait. You gotta call your friends. And do you guys remember back in the days when, you know, we had what, 14.4K modems, 28.8K modems, 56K modems back in the day. And I invested heavily in these 56K modems because I was playing Star Trek and Brood War. and all these old games, Command and Conquer, that needed simply something better. And we had video cards back then that were 2 megabytes, if even, and we were using RAM to the point where it was measured in bytes or even kilobytes. I remember the first computer I ever got in my life. It was a 486 DX2. And look how far we've come along in only 20 something years. That's not a long time. So now we're seeing, for example, 56K. Now we don't even worry about the speed of the internet for the majority of us home users. And now you see XRP, who's heavily challenging the money currency transfer system for worldwide, right? So Swift, they decided to hold a conference called the Cybos Conference in Toronto. And what did they do? Well, they held it. They planned it. So XRP, of course, what they decided to do, you know what? Let's hold a conference as well a few blocks down the road, and we're gonna call it the Swell Conference. And at that specific point, it ended up skyrocketing, breaking well above the resistance from 25 cents to a sharp 38 to 40 cents in one specific day. And that was a huge rally. But of course, it was a FOMO rally with a lot of hype. And with hype comes a lot of FUD. And with a lot of FUD, anything that parabolically moves to the upside is also going to get a sharp decline as well, right? What goes up parabolically will move down parabolically as well. And XRP, they've come a long way, guys. We're now back at 30 cents. If you were lucky enough to get in at a nickel or a penny, XRP has made so many millionaires in the world, and I wish I could say I was one of them from XRP. But of course, we had my success in other things such as Ethereum, Omizi Go, IOTA, EOS, way back in the day. I love Ethereum, if you guys remember my story. It holds a very, very dear place in my heart, and I do not think whatsoever that it will ever leave my heart. I always hold Ethereum simply because it's one of those coins that I've had massive success with. 200 Ethereum changed my life, and hopefully I can change other people's life as well, right? I can't speak too loud. That lady's sleeping right there, but don't say anything. We actually have our cat here now, or her cat rather, that's temporarily moving in. So anyways, let's get on with Ethereum, okay? And see what is going on from a technical perspective only, alright? So first of all, I believe that it is the exact same as other coins that we have seen thus far with the WXY, with an X attempt there. Oh, my mistake there, sorry. This would be W, that would be X, okay? This is not loading the way it should, alright? So W is there, X is there, Y is here, and bam, that's the failure that ended up retracing more than 100%. So therefore, we would call the Z right over here. These two specific points are here, right here, okay, folks? There, and also here, is the point of failure. W, X, Y, X, Z. 2 points of failure right here, where I believe that X denotes failure on an impulse move going to the upside. And what I believe is that this is the Z, and there is no doubt in my mind that right now Ethereum is lagging behind Bitcoin, okay? And now we are finally getting this golden crossover. And for those that are not familiar with the golden crossover, what this simply refers to is when the 200 moving average, whether you're using an SMA for simple moving average, just a moving average in general, or the exponential moving average that I personally like to use. And those ones would be the 200, 55, 21, 13, and the 8. So when we call it a death cross, what we see is a crossover like something like here, okay? A death cross is when it goes from high to low. 200, 55, 21, 13, 8. You guys have probably heard me say this millions of times before, but reiteration can always make sure that it gets drilled much better into your head, and it becomes now a habit. And it's going to be something that's going to be integrated into your daily tool for trading. So now what we call a golden crossover is when it's the opposite from high to low, where the 200 exponential moving average goes from 200, 55, 21, 8, all right? Sorry, 13 and then 8. So now the 200 moving average is now supporting all of these from below, whereas a death cross, a 200 is supporting from above, or sorry, resisting from above. And there's no doubt in my mind that this parabolic move up to the upside, where we are reaching RSIs of 87, which is just unbelievable in my personal opinion. We have now surpassed the RSI from May 16 of 2019, and we're now trending into the territories of 87 plus, which is unseen since June of 2017. So now the big question is, are we actually getting into a bull run? Can you feel my enthusiasm? Can you feel my love for Ethereum? Can you understand why I am so interested in evaluating Ethereum heavily, okay? So right now we see this RSI that is moving parabolically to the upside, but always be forewarned and be warned with caution. Okay, this is a foreshadowing for a possible exponential move down as well. What parabolically goes up will eventually parabolically crash. And in my personal opinion right now, I believe that we are now in the third wave to the upside. Alright, so let's evaluate this in high detail and go from there. First of all, on the daily RSI, the histogram, and also the moving averages here, okay, RSI and NACD, what we're seeing is a huge spike to the upside for the histogram. Do you see this? I thought it was going to get lower on February the 10th or a few days ago, but we're actually making some massive ground to the upside. And we are far from probably ending this because Ethereum is actually lagging behind Bitcoin. Even if we look at it right now, we're ready for another move to the upside. And this is a beautiful move in my personal opinion, but be forewarned that this could possibly be the final wave up to the upside for the third final wave, okay? So if we're actually, let's take a look at the monthly first of all, okay? The monthly, as you can see right here, we ended up bouncing hard above $117 back in December, where December the 17th started the official bull run. And that official, let me grab some water. My throat's really dry right now. My lady always falls asleep when I'm working, while dinner is actually on the stovetop, making a slow-cooked meal today. There's a cat that's hiding underneath the ottoman as well. Second time here. He's very, very shy. But like us Asians say, cats could be dinner. I'm just joking, guys. Don't ever eat cats. They're gorgeous. So now, what we're looking at right here, take a look at this. Isn't this lovely? What else can we say to this, okay? Let's refresh this right here because it's not giving me the picture that I'm looking for. Whew! I love Ethereum. Okay? Ethereum right here. What? I didn't renew mine. Okay, I guess I didn't. I pay for it 1 year at a time because it's a lot more convenient. I guess gotta renew that. But you know what I've noticed? I don't really care about it when you've got a 49-inch Samsung ultra-wide monitor where you can load up so many tabs, and there's so many other sites as well that provide you with the same features as TradingView, right? You guys remember back in the day when I used to just keep getting free trials like 3 years ago? Because I was that cheap 3 years ago, because you know when I first started out trading, right, and making YouTube videos like literally so long ago. So the weekly, as we see right here, okay, take a look. We're now crossing to the upside. 1, 2, 3, 4 ticks to the upside already. When you actually look at Bitcoin right here, you're only seeing it tick up for 1, 2, 3 weeks thus far. It's wrong for me to say that Ethereum is actually leading the pack right now in terms of progression. Or sorry, Bitcoin is, and Ethereum's lagging. I retract that statement. My apologies. Sometimes you catch yourself in your own mistake, and it's always very important for you to acknowledge them. If we look at Ethereum, we're actually on the 1, 2, 3, 4th week up to the upside already. So they're doing very, very well. RSI is highly exceeding on the weekly above 67, reaching into the 70 oversold regions. But just because it's oversold doesn't mean anything at all. So now what we're seeing is a strong movement well above this 55 EMA with a huge break up and the volume steadily increasing as well. Let's take a look at the 24-hour volume for Ethereum and see how it has been trending thus far. So what we see right here is a steady increase in volume and a steady maintenance of $14 to $17 billion. And then bam! February the 12th, we're seeing this at $24.5 billion, and that is just phenomenal, this bull run. Did you guys get in on it? I didn't. But as you guys know me, I'm bear, rar, natural bear in the market, and I love to short because I just don't have time to always play breakouts. And shorting is more so in my own personality. So right now, weekly is looking phenomenal, daily is getting heavily oversold, but it is the 4-hour chart as a day trader that I heavily look at the most, and especially as a swing trader as well. So this is the way that I'm evaluating this market, okay? Let me give you guys a glimpse of my personal view of the market and how it has been looking thus far. So I'm looking at this, okay, first of all, as the first wave to the upside, somehow as a leading first wave diagonal that breaks the downside with a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the first wave right here only, okay? So if this was actually the first wave, actually, you know what? Let's correct myself over here, okay? So let's just actually, you know what? I retract it again. Let's take a look at this from multiple perspectives, okay? Let's say that this was the first wave. Is that a viable first wave? In my opinion, no, because we always have to evaluate it from the perspective of proportionality. And I do not think, in my opinion whatsoever, that that is proportional. Therefore, it's going to be an alternate count that's now placed to the side. So now I'm going to have to take one of these ones right here. Alright? Whether it's from there or there, it does not matter to me for the meantime. Okay? What matters to me is the 4-hour chart that we're going to evaluate, because we can easily deduce right here, okay, that the first wave easily reached a super extremely high sentiment of bullishness that only bounced off of the 0.382 Fibonacci region at 155.63. So is that more likely to be a possible first wave? Absolutely it is. Therefore, we're going to evaluate this specific structure only, and we're going to see some possible targets, okay? So now, let's say that was right here, the first wave that was going to the upside. If we do a Fibonacci extension, what we're easily going to see is that this is hitting targets with absolutely flying colors. Not only did it hit it, but it is highly breaching the 1.618 Fibonacci region. We have to say to ourselves that wave 3 is often the longest and never the shortest, which means that wave 1 can be longer than wave 3, or wave 5 can be longer than wave 3, but wave 3 cannot be the absolute shortest in any way. Does that make sense to you folks? Alright, not only that, because we're imposing these rules where wave 3, we're going to assume first of all that it's going to do at least a 1-to-1 extension of wave 1 with a possible realistic target of 1618. So what you want to do is you want to aim for that 1618 all the time. And what do? Bam! We hit it, okay? So we can use wave 1 as a Fibonacci extension as well. So because we can use wave 1, that also means we can use subwaves 1 as well. Right? Right. So now, double click on here, uncheck the wave, go to a minute. one right here. And now you got yourself a fairly beautiful, you know what, just to be clear, it's always the higher degree on the outside. But because of the way TradingView is, they don't really like the way Elliott waves are annotated. So now, let's look on a deeper structure right here, where we're gonna go with a Fibonacci extension from waves 1 to 2 only. And what do we see? Okay, what we see is wave 1, okay, was the shortest thus far. We see that wave 3 exceeded a 1-to-1 extension, which meets the requirement that wave 3 is often the longest and never the shortest, and generally speaking, wave 3 is longer than wave 1. Unless it's a leading first wave diagonal or an ending fifth wave diagonal, which is often found in the first subwave or the fifth subwave, or the first wave or the fifth wave, or in A or C. It really depends on how you look at it, right? Okay, so now what we're also saying is that, bam, wave 5 also ended up hitting it fairly nicely, in my personal opinion, of a 1-6-1-8 extension. Therefore, what is a possible target? Let's zoom out and see further, shall we? What we see right here is we are very much so at a resistance. Why? Because of this specific section right here that I'm highlighting in red for you to see. Does this make sense? So once you do a Fibonacci extension, this is my personal strategy. You do a Fibonacci extension, okay, you highlight it right here as I've demonstrated thus far right here. Go to a lower time frame and see why this could be a possible resistance. And would you all agree that these specific points right here could be a resistance? 1, 2, bam! 3 resistances right there. And of course, the next resistance is going to be $360. Oh my goodness, guys. You guys remember this? I'm getting a little bit sentimental here. Okay, check this out, guys. Do you guys remember Follow Me back in the day? Right here, folks. Okay, right here. $350. Check this out. Okay, right around this specific region, right there, that I was talking about for a very long time, bouncing above the 200 EMA. This was the breakout point right here. Whew. Anybody get in on that? Give me a bam if you guys got in on that, man. This right here, the breakout price was around $350, okay? And that was, it was just unbelievable, right? So the first target that people did was, this is what they did, guys. This is what I did with Ethereum, okay? I took my Fibonacci extension from down there to here, and I went bam, 1618. And that is when I originally sold my second Ethereum clearing at $750. I got 200 Ethereum at $10. And then I mined 200 Ethereum as well. And then I sold Ethereum around 350 bucks back in the day. It's enough money to change someone's life. And that's why right here on my Twitter, I write, 200 Ethereum changed my life. Now it would change yours. Or try my best to help out anybody that I can possibly help. Because when you have that opportunity, you really want to help other people. And that's really important to me. And then this breakout right here was just phenomenal. I waited and I waited and I waited. Yeah, you guys can hear it in my voice, right? Someone asked me on Twitter in a tweet, was I happier with money or without? I wouldn't say I have a lot, I wouldn't say I have a little, but I definitely do feel richer in my heart, and I have time to focus on other things that I didn't have before, like friends, like family, like relationships, like pets, like hobbies. And I do feel that it's going to alleviate a little bit of the burdens of modern day society. But don't ever mistake money for a moment as something that's truly going to change your life. Because honestly, if I'm speaking from a personal perspective, the only thing that can change your life is how you feel about yourself. And I don't think that we need a lot to be happy. We have to learn how to differentiate needs between wants. We have to learn how to be happy with the little that we have. I'm sorry about the lighting if it's a little bit dark. We're just waiting for the slow cooker to make something, and I don't want to wake up my lady who's sleeping next to me about a meter away. It's extremely cold here today in Winnipeg, Manitoba. Do you guys know how cold it is? This is how cold it is today. It's -5 outside. Check that out. It's gonna get to -45 tonight. It's an extremely cold day. That's why we've got a huge fire going on here, if you guys can see. Right there. Do you guys see that? Yeah, that's just a fake makeshift fireplace right there. It's always very cozy in this cabin. I really don't want to move away, to be quite honest. But it's necessary, and that's okay. With change brings new things that we can appreciate. And with change always brings growing. So now, if we call this 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So what we gotta do is evaluate it further in this perspective right here. But I want, excuse me, hiccups. But I want to forewarn everybody is the very simple rule of bearish divergence that is forgotten by many people. First of all, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, okay? You got waves just like that going to the upside, okay? Then, what you're usually going to get is RSI that will behave in this specific manner. And once you learn what bearishly diverging RSI is, you are going to be so grateful. Wave 1 RSI, not that high. Wave 3 RSI, peaking. And if you ever see a wave 5 RSI with a lower high, okay, this is the rule. Obviously, this point right here, okay, and that point, wave 5 is a higher high. But if you see wave 3 and then wave 5 RSI with a lower high for wave 5, then you can say to yourself, this is called bearishly diverging RSI, which is showing you signs of strength that's decreasing. Okay? And now what we're seeing thus far, if you actually acknowledge these points right here, okay? Wave 3, 4, and if that were 5 right there, you can easily see that 82 right now, right? Until we get a small little drop, I'm not going to be too inclined right now to short quite yet. We are going very high to the upside, but we are seeing RSI that's not exceeding it whatsoever quite yet. Even on the 3-hour chart right now, what we're seeing is that we are actually almost double peaking on the RSI. So it's not really a massive sign of decrease just quite yet. Okay, I need a lot more information. Now, in my personal opinion, I'm not too interested on how much higher this is going to go upwards. I'm more interested in when will this start showing signs of bearish divergence so I can simply enter a short. Who wears short shorts, right? But only if my count is actually correct. And that is very important to discern right now. Okay, we need more signs, and the only signs that we see right now is on a 4-hour RSI. So now I don't see tons of signs. 2-hour RSI is higher, 1-hour RSI is even higher. So now what we got to do, what we're going to do is try to evaluate these specific waves going to the upside. And it actually looks like it's going to be a 5th wave, or 5th wave extension within the 3rd subwave here, and that's a possible move. So in my opinion, let's summarize this. You know why? Because I'm getting kind of hungry. Right now, the resistance is hard capped, in my personal opinion, okay? Right around here, 275. Let's pick a huge round number that we can easily get to. So watch out for these signs at 245, okay? You guys gotta make sure that you're understanding, okay? There's one right there. there's one right there, there's stuff right there. And that took a fairly long time to break to the upside, and it took about 1 whole month. So why would we break it on the absolute first try? So 245, in my opinion, is a hard cap right here for the third wave going to the upside, which could possibly be an ending a fifth wave extension, which within the third wave, because this fifth subwave within the third wave is actually a huge wave, isn't it? Okay. Now, if we do end up correcting, okay, if I'm wrong, make sure that we're always covering our angles. If I'm wrong, we're going to simply probably find resistance around 285 every $10. Right? Because we see this huge conglomeration of resistance down there as well. Actually, support that turned to a resistance, which is now going to be a resistance. Actually, sorry, the resistance that turned to a support that's now going to be a resistance. So if I'm wrong by any means, we could be doing a 2618 to 285 to 290. That is the bear side. But we must crack 275 first, okay? And now the bear side is that we're going to start to see a lot more bearish divergence with the RSI, where we're getting higher highs and we're also getting lower highs on the RSI, okay? But right now, you guys have to understand that in this candle right here that just ended up closing on the daily 27 minutes ago was a huge bullish candle. And the last thing you want to do is try to catch the top. In my personal opinion, I've always failed at catching the top, unless I'm scalping by the minute, where it's so volatile that it's moving anywhere from 1 to 5% within a few short minutes only. But generally speaking, if I'm going to be swing trading, I'm always going to look for signs of bearish divergence and make sure that I'm getting that lower high on RSI and possibly a lower low as well on price action. But right now it's just looking like it's not slowing down quite yet. But if we do end up breaking to the downside, simple. Let's assume that we do get to only 275, alright? If we only get to 275, what I can easily say is I'm going to take my fib extension from the bottom of wave 2 to the top of wave 5, which is 275 right here, okay? You guys also have to understand, based on price action right here, we're getting basically a bearish spinning top right here, or you can say a hammer, whatever. And look at this. This is a shooting star kind of candle right there with a very, very small body and a long wick shooting very high up. This right here is a reversal candle, alright? And that was only 30 minutes ago, which could possibly signal that we're getting close and the end is nigh. Another thing that we can say is that if we do end up breaking to the downside, we're going to be taking this right here. Let's clear up a little bit of space, okay? We're gonna take wave 1 right here. My lady always says to me that my voice is very soothing when I speak, and she can fall asleep to it like a baby when I'm actually making my videos, which is actually quite awesome, because then I don't have to worry too much about speaking loudly, and there's just nothing but respect on her end, and I love that very much. You guys will be seeing a lot more of her, but in a discreet way, and of course a very respectful way where I'll respect my privacy and ours especially, but also give you a glimpse a little bit about our lifestyle, what we do, what we cherish, what we value a little bit as well, because crypto is not all about money, right guys? It's not all about money. It's just about alleviating the burdens of modern day society. And guys, I'm very certain that 275 could be the absolute hit. We actually hit 273.73 already. So now, if we do hit it, in my personal opinion, this right here will be the catch zone between 215 and also 229. So here are my plays, okay? I don't know if I want to short it. It's so risky right now. But I will long it if we break above 275. And you know what? It's a pretty good RR if we break above 275 with flying colors. Let's give you a quick example. Keep in mind, I am no financial advisor whatsoever. I am just merely talking about my specific positions and what I would do. And it is in no way an encouragement for you to do something as well. I would probably end up going for a 1.5% stop and allocating my R units to something a little bit higher than 1%. And if I do break above 275 right here, I would say that the RR here is about 2.37. With high probability trades like mine where I'm successful from 70 to 80%, this is absolutely a trade worthwhile taking for me to gain 3.6% and possibly losing 1.5%. Okay? And then if we break to the downside, oh my goodness, am I gonna be excited for this? I'm gonna look first of all for lower low and a lower high. Okay? This right here will probably be my shorting point. Okay, I'm probably gonna end up, if we drop to A, I'm gonna take my Fibonacci extension and I'm gonna try to catch it somewhere between 382 to 618, right there in the golden pocket. And if we do that, that will be my short opportunity somewhere along that range, and I'm gonna get a phenomenal RR with the target to around there, where I'm gonna be laddering on the way down. Because if then you don't have to go, you guys need to take my course if you haven't taken it already, alright? Alright, so I'm guessing 3 weeks total from filming everything and also editing it. I'm sorry for taking much longer, but for those that are still interested, I thought I'd say in the middle of this video. This is the course 1 right now. You can pause it to see the syllabus. This is course 2. It's very in-depth. You're welcome to pause it or just go very slowly to watch it. And this is course 3, which is my personal favorite one. So what I'm doing is that I'm updating courses 1 and 2. It's going to be revised, re-edited, and I filmed it over a year ago, right? I think I've gained a lot of skills in terms of narrating, being a lot more concise and fluent with my words. I can flow a little bit better. That can maybe stick to home a little bit better as well. So if you do decide to get course 1 and 2, it comes as course 3 for free, and you'll be getting all 3 courses for 190 American by crypto, by Ethereum, or by Bitcoin. Take a look at the link below in the description. Just send it, and they're showing me a screenshot on Twitter, and you guys are gonna get it by download link where you'll have a permanent copy of it. And only those that have course 1, 2, and 3 before I finish the revised versions will get it for free. That's right, you'll get it for free. But if you don't have it before then, I'm only going to let 100 people have access to it. And it's going to cost you about 800 American dollars. Why? Because I value myself. I do not want to saturate the market. Trading is a fierce competition. And the last thing that I want is for a lot of people to have the information that we have. So make sure if you guys are interested in it, get on it, because it's not going to be here for a long time. And the last thing that you're going to want is not to have it. So my personal opinion, once again, if I do decide to short, it's going to be in this particular region right here where I'm going to actually end up shorting it. Okay? And the target is going to be something monstrous. Okay, it's going to be something like around the 382 region to 229, which is going to yield me a fairly decent, as long as I keep laddering down, right? And of course, as it gets to A and it breaks below it, we'll just take an average of slightly above A with a very small risk tolerance as well of about 2%. That's a massive risk to reward of 4-1. That RR is beautiful with an 8% gain to a 2% loss. Damn, excuse my language. So there you guys have it, okay? I personally believe that we are already bearish and we're losing steam simply because, well, it's just the way it's looking thus far, especially with this huge doji candle pushing the upside. I'm not saying in any way as a financial advisor for you to short whatsoever. I'm simply just saying that these are my thoughts. So anyways, have yourselves a great night. Thank you very much for watching this Ethereum technical analysis video of mine. And my favorite part is, first of all, the end of the video, because it takes a long time to film it and it's time for dinner or supper, whatever you guys call it. So thanks for always showing the support and the love as usual, and have yourselves a wonderful night. And I look forward to seeing you a lot more down the road. Bye now.